Have you ever wondered what it looks like to go from a small island girl selling clothes with her father to becoming the youngest self-made female billionaire in America? If wealth could sing, it would sound like Rihanna. With an estimated net worth of $1.4 billion, she didn't just climb to the top. She built a throne, then lit it with Fenty gold. But behind the luxury, the paparazzi, and the billion-dollar smile is a story most people never get to hear. One of grit, heartbreak, reinvention, and rebellion. So, before we step into the world of diamonds, defiance, and destiny, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Before the red carpets and Grammy stages, before makeup mogul and Savage X Fenty, there was just Robyn Rihanna Fenty, a young girl growing up in Barbados. Her childhood was both colorful and complicated. Her father, a warehouse supervisor with a charm that could sell anything, also battled addiction. Her mother worked tirelessly to keep the family afloat. The tension in their home was real. Arguments, financial strain, emotional scars that would linger for years. She found her escape in music, singing to the rhythm of Caribbean breezes and dreaming of something far beyond the shores she knew. She would often hum melodies while walking the sandy streets of her neighborhood, her voice catching the attention of those nearby. Her dreams felt distant until fate came knocking. American producer Evan Rogers, vacationing in Barbados, heard her sing and immediately saw something special. An audition tape later, she was flying to New York and Jay-Z, yes, that Jay-Z, signed her to Def Jam on the spot. He reportedly refused to let her leave the building until the contract was inked. And just like that, a new era began. Her debut single, Pawn de Replay, exploded onto the charts and introduced the world to a fresh voice from the islands. But Rihanna wasn't here to be a one-hit wonder. She returned harder, bolder, more unapologetic. With each release, she reinvented herself. By the time Umbrella dropped in 2007, she had transformed from island sweetheart to global icon. Her voice became an anthem, her fashion a movement. She wasn't just riding the wave, she was making the tide rise. Album after album, hit after hit, she defied the industry's attempts to label her. Pop, R&B, dancehall, electro, she embraced every genre, made it her own, and pushed boundaries. She blurred lines between artist and mogul, music and message. Her albums became chronicles of her growth. From the edgy introspection of Rated R to the soulful defiance of ANTI, each project carried the weight of a woman defining her own narrative in real time. But with fame came storms. In 2009, her abusive relationship with singer Chris Brown became global news. The bruises, the heartbreak, it all played out in the public eye. But what they didn't see was the inner battle, the strength it took to walk away, to heal, to rebuild. She didn't vanish. She came back sharper, tougher, using her pain as armor. Her music became her voice, not just to entertain, but to empower. Songs like Love the Way You Lie and Needed Me weren't just hits. They were declarations of survival and sovereignty. Rihanna opened up about her healing process, her journey through trauma, and her hope to help others feel seen. Through it all, she remained vulnerable yet resilient. And in 2022, she entered a new chapter, motherhood. She and rapper A$AP Rocky welcomed their first child, and Rihanna embraced this role with the same elegance and boldness she brings to everything else. For her, motherhood wasn't a step back from the spotlight. It was a deeper dive into identity, into legacy. Today, she's a proud mother of 2 sons. And as of 2025, she's expecting her 3rd child. Another evolution. Another layer to the woman who keeps rewriting what it means to be powerful, private, and deeply human. But even as her music soared, Rihanna's ambitions expanded. In 2017, she launched Fenty Beauty, a cosmetics line that didn't just enter the market. It shook the entire industry. She introduced 40 foundation shades at launch, a move that forced the beauty world to re-evaluate inclusivity. Millions of people who had long been ignored by mainstream brands finally felt seen. Rihanna had redefined what beauty looked like. And who got to define it? Then came Savage X Fenty. Her lingerie line wasn't just about fashion, it was about freedom. Freedom to feel sexy, to feel confident, to feel powerful in your own skin. Whether you were a size 2 or 22, Savage X Fenty made it clear you belonged. With her visionary fashion shows featuring dancers, performers, and models of all backgrounds and body types, Rihanna turned lingerie into a revolution. Her business empire didn't stop there. She partnered with luxury house LVMH, expanded into skincare, and hinted at future ventures in hair care and even tech. Fenty wasn't just a brand, it was a statement. And behind it all stood Rihanna, the CEO, the innovator, the cultural disruptor. While others chased trends, she built them. And as the dollars rolled in, she became the youngest self-made female billionaire. Not just for selling, but for leading. Still, not everything was smooth. Fans began to wonder, where was the music? When would the next album drop? Some questioned if she had forgotten the art that launched her. But she has always moved on her own terms. Her silence only amplified the intrigue. She didn't answer critics. She let anticipation speak for her. And in 2023, when she returned to the stage at the Super Bowl halftime show, pregnant, powerful, and radiant, she reminded the world, she doesn't follow trends. She is the moment. And when it comes to lifestyle, Rihanna's taste reflects her essence. Effortless, eclectic, elite. She owns several luxurious homes. A sleek modern mansion tucked in the hills of Beverly Hills, a sky-high penthouse in New York City with sweeping skyline views, and a sprawling estate in Barbados, where the sea whispers to the walls. Her car collection is pure fantasy. Lamborghini, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, each ride an extension of her bold personality. She flies private, sails on mega yachts, and walks red carpets in couture. Yet somehow, she never flaunts. She moves like the wind, quiet, cool, unstoppable. Her generosity, too, knows no limits. Through the Clara Lionel Foundation, named after her grandparents, Rihanna has donated tens of millions to causes across the globe. Education programs in developing countries, emergency response to natural disasters, COVID-19 relief efforts, support for victims of domestic violence. Rihanna gives with purpose and impact. In 2017, Harvard named her Humanitarian of the Year. But for her, accolades aren't the goal. Change is. She doesn't just write checks. She shows up. She uses her voice, her influence, her platform to amplify the voices of those who need to be heard. In interviews, on social media, in boardrooms, she remains unafraid to speak truth to power. Rihanna isn't just building wealth. She's building a world where everyone has a seat at the table. So what comes next? A new album? A new brand? Maybe. But perhaps the bigger question is, what kind of world will Rihanna help shape next? Because what makes her remarkable isn't just her success. It's the way she makes others believe in their own. She wasn't born into privilege. She built it. She didn't inherit a legacy. She forged one. From singing on a Caribbean island to redefining beauty on a global scale, Rihanna has proven that being rich and famous isn't just about the money or the fame. It's about the mark you leave behind. And maybe that's her greatest masterpiece yet. Not the albums, not the awards, not even the billion-dollar brand, but the reminder that even the boldest dreams, sung softly on an island breeze, can one day echo around the world. And that is just a glimpse into the life of Rihanna. But there are still so many untold stories waiting to be explored. So, tell us, who should we dive into next? Drop their name in the comments, and you might just see them feature in our next episode. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story that redefines what it means to be rich and famous. And before you go, tap the screen now to watch our next celebrity journey. It's just as powerful.